Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa, and I know I've been MIA. I was supposed to give you guys the Ready to Love review like last week, but I was on vacation, so I was unable to. But I'm back now, and I'm gonna give a brief review of the previous episode and the current episode all in one. So I watched the episode that passed from Ready to Love. I think it was episode 6 or 7. I'm not particularly sure. So let's see what was there to talk about. So first of all, I think Tommy gave the women the assignment of allowing allowing their exes to meet their current partners, their current interests. And once again, I will say this. To have your potential partner meet your ex is already weird enough, okay? But then to have a situation where you're not even really feeling your potential partner, that's not even who you would choose in real life, right? You guys don't even have a romantic partnership, right? To have your ex meet that person, for me, that's embarrassing. Because it's not even somebody that I genuinely want, but then I'm having them meet an ex. It's crazy. And it's unfortunate, to be honest. So I saw the previews after that episode, and we saw Chaz wilding out, sharing strawberries with Rashina, sharing the bed with Mika, and we see Vanessa catching him doing all these different things, and I'm not sure how she's going to respond to it. We're gonna see in the current episode, but right now we're talking about the previous episode. I think a lot of the time people felt like Chaz was the only good guy. Chaz is the only good guy, and some people clocked that he was acting, he was playing a role, and really and truly he's a player, and we got to see that from that little glimpse of the current episode. But quickly, I'm just running through what happened in the previous episode. I asked a question and I said, who does Chaz like? Because between Vanessa, Rashina, and was it just Vanessa and Rashina? Between these two women, it's very difficult to be able to tell, because he says the same things to both women. But I guess based on the fact that he gave Vanessa flowers, it shows that he prefers Vanessa more. So I guess that was the determining factor. Yeah, I said he has nice words for everybody. I also felt like Mika having no ex was such a red flag. We've encountered this before where these women come on. It's time to show the ex. It's time to call the ex, and there's no ex that is able to come or is willing to come because you have no relationship with that ex. I feel like that is a red flag on the women's part. And if you hear what Mika was saying clearly, she wasn't even saying that the baby daddies of, because clearly both children have different baby daddies, but she made it seem as if the one for the little boy only wants to talk when it comes to the little boy, and the one after the little boy wants nothing to do with nothing. So what about the girl? What about your daughter's father? Like, isn't he willing to come, or did you completely cut him off? And how about other partners? You've not had any relationship since your children's fathers? Clearly she's had one, but I feel like these people on reality TV, on public television, they just try to censor themselves. So yes, she probably has 10 boyfriends that she's had in that time, but because she doesn't want to be perceived a particular way, she's only making mention of 2 men. But I feel like it's BS. She has other exes, and maybe she's afraid of what the exes might say about her, so she's saving herself by deciding not to bring them on. And Tommy decides to step in, but then again, I feel like Tommy doesn't know Mika. Only her exes would know who Mika really is in a relationship. So that was really disappointing and a big red flag for me. when it comes to Mika and her choices in men, right? No wonder she's particularly cautious this time around, because she's made stupid decisions before, especially with the guy that was the gamer, and he barely had time for her or them, and he was cheating, and the child got connected to him, and only for her to break up with him and for the child to also have to suffer through that heartbreak. It's not like she never made a mistake. I guess it's from her mistakes that she's being so particular about the type of men she allows around her children. So Laron was talking about the gaming thing, and he's like, oh, I make games, so I'm liable to play games for the weekend. I can call off work. And I feel like gaming is a part of his job, so it makes sense. But I doubt that Mika's previous ex, that was his job. I think he just liked playing games. I don't know if that makes a difference, but Mika just was not interested. She also mentioned that sometimes she gives her children more attention than she gives the man in her life. And Justin didn't take it well. And in my opinion, I felt that that was a red flag on Justin's part, because as a mother, your children is your responsibility. So you have to pay attention to them. You have to ensure that their well-being is good, because you're their only blood relation that's in the house with them. Their fathers don't live with them. So to me that made sense. But for Justin to take it negatively, like, oh, you're gonna put your, almost, it sounded almost like you're gonna put your children before me. That sounded crazy to me, because of course, naturally, I'm not saying don't carve out time for your partner, but in the end, at the end of the day, I feel like you should understand that my child requires most of my attention. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that gave me a red flag with Mika is that she expects the men to step in and immediately be full-time parents to her children. I feel like that's unfair. And I feel like that is something that you gradually open them to. But I don't think it's something you should throw onto your potential partners, like, this is my child, I expect you to be a parent. I think it's too much. I think it was too much. So Justin appeared to be quite interested in Mika. Laron has made her his friend. It doesn't seem like there's any romantic connection there. Neither did I ever feel like there would be any romantic connection. It appeared that last episode, even before this one, that he made her out to be the homie. And they even did some type of friend jamming thing. So clearly there's nothing there. And Justin is the only one that has romantic interest in Mika. But as someone said, that romantic interest is purely based on how Mika looks. Because I don't think that he would even entertain her in that way if it was like a serious something. You know what I'm saying? And what about Justin and Rashina? Like, what's going on there? I'm a little bit confused where that fizzled off to. So I said, I wonder if Justin is keeping in mind that this woman does not want children. Like, she absolutely does not want children. And I highly doubt that he would be the one to change her mind. I just feel like he thinks she looks good and he wants to sleep with her and he wants something short term. So he's saying, why not? But long term, that relationship would just never work. Now, I also made a mention of the fact that I think that in Mika's previous relationships, she's not had a lot of male support. She's not had support from her baby daddies. And as a result, she is very skeptical of wanting to jump into that very vulnerable position of being pregnant again, because she has to face her past and she has to face the possibility that these men might opt out of taking care of their child or supporting her while she gives birth and takes care of the child. So there's all of that. So I spoke on Maya. Maya doesn't like William. It's clear that she thinks he's a nice guy, but she doesn't have a romantic connection to him, nor do I feel like a romantic connection would form from their relationship because it just doesn't give that, So when Maya's ex was talking about finances and she likes to be taken care of and all these things, Justin was immediately intimidated and turned off because he feels like I'm not gonna be able to support Maya. So I feel like off the bat he cut himself out of that thing with Maya because he's like, I don't make six figures, nor do I think he makes close to six figures. So neither do I think that they would even make a great couple. So I mean, men just sometimes they're attracted to a woman and they make that lead them into relationships with these women, knowing that they don't have everything these women want. He's giving very much 50-50. I pay this, you pay that. And I don't think that's the type of relationship that Maya wants. William, however, didn't flinch. And he was like, well, I am a ex-Navy, whatever, and I have other sources of income. Do I feel as if those other sources of income will be able to support Maya in the way she wants? Absolutely not. William not flinching and not seeming outwardly scared of having to care for Maya doesn't mean anything. It probably just means he won against Justin, but I don't think he won enough for Maya to be confident that he'll be able to provide for her in the way that she wants. Okay, so then there's that. Alonzo supposedly shuts down museum. He's pushing this game thing all throughout the date. And he's basically saying the romantic side needed to be brought out of him. We all saw the previews of him kneeling down. It turns out it was a fake out. He was just fake bending his knees, talking about he's tying his shoelaces and whatever the case is. He doesn't stop playing. He plays all day. Dominique to me is a little silly. He's talking about, oh, he stayed away from Maya because of William. He knows nothing about Maya, which is shocking to me because at this point in the show, you're saying you know nothing about Maya, like you never spoke to her at any point. That was very weird to me. It was very surprising that a lot of the women decided to, half of them were like Alonso can go and half of them were like Dominique can go. That just proves that nobody cares if you have a connection or not. It's just, I don't have a connection with you, so you can go. They don't take into consideration other people having connections with these people. The problem is they're kind of justified because if this guy is only showing interest in one woman and is making it very clear that he is not gonna find that same interest in you, then why am I keeping him here? I'm only keeping him here for another woman. I'm not keeping him here because there's any potential for me to date him. This is why it's important on this show, the way the show is formatted. You are literally forced to have some type of connection with people that you don't see connections with. And I really feel like they should stop the way that they formatted this show because it makes no sense. It's forcing people to have superficial connections just to stay on the show. And it makes it a game show as opposed to, okay, we have a connection, let's lock that in so that nobody can send you home. To me, that makes more sense. And that proves, or I should say not proves, but it creates an atmosphere for love. As opposed to, let's make it to the end. Let's just form anything with anybody and make it to the end. It's killing the show. It's literally killing the show. So I said I feel like at least Alonso has a connection. It's clear that the women aren't close because you'd want to protect your friend's connection, right? Anyways, Dominic got sent home. It was time for him to be sent home. He didn't seem like he was open and available to anybody there. We barely saw him this season. There's episodes where we did not see him at all, and then another episode he just popped back in. So I'm happy he got sent home. What I didn't speak on though is Patrice having her ex meet William and Alonzo, and either way, it's very clear that Alonzo and Patrice has a deeper connection. Something William said that was weird was the fact that he's mad at, what did he say? He's mad at Patrice that she doesn't tan, or that she tans, and it's because he's been adopted and he has, I guess, issues with people not being the authentic selves. I don't know what it was, but it was weird, I should say. It's clear that William doesn't have any strong connection there, so we're gonna see. And also Rashina and Chaz, and you notice that Chaz was the only person that met Rashina's ex. So again, I'm wondering what happened with Justin. Also the thing with Chaz is he's a smooth talker. He's gonna say all the things you want to hear, but as viewers watching from the outside, it's very clear that everything he says is very superficial. It's unbelievable. It's difficult to believe him watching him on the outside. But I guess when you really want someone, your judgment tends to be clouded and you tend to ignore certain things that they say, because you think that what you're saying is in your favor, when really he's just saying what he needs to say to get along, I guess. So there's that. That's my preview of the previous episode. Later on, I'm gonna do the current episode, so stay tuned for that. Bye, you guys. Like and subscribe.